Alright guys, so we're going to talk about the distributive property in this video. So like we talked about in class today, if you were here, we're going to take the number on the outside of the parentheses, which is, in this case, a -6, and you're going to multiply it by every single term inside the parentheses. So when I say term, I mean this n right here, and then this -5. We're going to multiply both of those by 6. But we're going to do it one at a time. So really quickly, we're going, like I said, we're going to do 6 times n, -6 times n, and that should give me a -6n. Then we're going to do -6 times -5, and that should give me a positive 30 equals to 66. Bring down your 66. If you're confused as to why I got positive 30 right here instead of a -1, real quick on a tangent, when we're multiplying integers, make sure that we remember to use the little triangle trick method that I showed you guys. If you choose to, I highly recommend it if you're having trouble memorizing your integer rules. So the triangle is, there's two negatives at the bottom, negative, negative, and a positive at the top. And we are multiplying, the thing was -6 times a -5. So the way the triangle works is negative. You have the first term you're multiplying is a -6, so you're going to cross off one of your negative signs. The second term is a -5, so you're going to cross off another negative sign. And we know the answer is going to be 30, but now we know it's going to be positive 30 because that's what's left over. So that's how we got that 30 right there to be positive. So from here on out, it's just a regular old two-step equation. You know, we separate the left and the right-hand side of the equation. And we see that we have some stuff going on here. We have a -6n plus 30 on the left-hand side, and we need the n to be by itself. So that means anything that is not this n right here has to go. So my -6 has to get out of here, and my 30 has to go as well. So, you know, we always start off with the 30. So instead of saying plus 30, the opposite of positive 30 is minus 30 here. And we're going to do the same thing on this side of the equation to make it go away. 30 minus 30 is 0. Put a 0 there, just so we can know it's 0 when it's also gone. And on the left-hand side, what's left over is my -6n. So I'm going to bring that down, -6n. Okay, and on the right-hand side, we have 66 minus 30, which will give us 36. And we're almost done now. We have one more step to go. We have to get rid of this -6 now, the coefficient. Coefficient is a number in front of a variable, if you don't remember that from class. So to get rid of this -6, the way we say this is -6 times the number n equals to 36. That's what that means when they're that close together. So the opposite of multiplication in this case would be division. So we're going to divide by -6 on both sides of the equation. And, you know, 6 divided by 6 is 1. So I'm left with just one n by itself. And on the right-hand side of the equation, 36 divided by -6 will give me a -6, and that's our final answer. I know it seems like it's a lot of work, but it's really not that bad. Okay, so let's try one more in this video, and that should be good. So again, one thing that I did see that was concerning me is that when we had problems in which the order was kind of reversed from what we're used to seeing, that caused some issues for some students. So I wanted to make sure that we would cover this as well in the video. So I'm going to highlight my the term outside the parentheses, which is my -5. We're going to start off with parentheses first, you know, distribution, or another term, another way we said it in class today was expanding this expression on this side of the equal sign. It's all this, it all means the same thing. It's a fancy way of saying it. And I'm going to expand that. I'm going to distribute that 5 to everything that's inside the parentheses. So 3 plus 6m. They're all going to be multiplied by -5. So -5 times 3, -15. That's what it'll give us. And then -5 times a 6m. Negative and a positive. That's going to give me a negative answer. That's going to give me -30m. Don't forget the variable. And then, of course, you know, we have to bring down our 75. Now we have a two-step equation, and we know we have to make a little line to separate the left and the right-hand side of the equation. Our variable for this one is m, and that means everything that's not m has to go away from the right-hand side. So we're going to work like normal, like we usually have, even though the equation is kind of flipped. It's the same thing. We're going to use the same process to solve this problem. So the opposite of a -15 will be a positive 15. Inverse operations on both sides of the equation. So 15 minus 15 is 0. So that's gone. Cancel each other out. And I'm left with a negative 30m on the right-hand side. Sorry, that's a negative sign. I think I might have went a little overboard when I made my 0. So this equals 0, cancel each other out, just to rewrite it. And I'm left with a negative 30m over here. Sorry about that. And on the left-hand side, 75 plus 15 is 90. So we're left with 90 is equal to negative 30 times a number m. So we're going to figure out what m is right now by dividing both of our sides by 30 to get rid of that coefficient in front of my variable. So divide by 30 over here as well. On the right-hand side, 30 divided by 30 is 1. So I'm left with 1m by itself. On the left-hand side, 90 divided by negative 30 will give me a negative 3. And that is our final answer.